So I'm giving you my first impressions on the thinnest tablet in the world and the first e-ink tablet to be powered by ChatGPT 5. A really interesting product here, clearly inspired by another e-ink tablet. We'll get into that a little bit later. But right now, what are my first impressions? How is this device to actually use, and should you even consider it? Well, I've been using the AINOTE 2 for a little while now. This is not the AINOTE Air 2, this is the AINOTE 2. So it's gonna be a little confusing. The Air 2 is the smaller one right here that I have done a video or two on. The AINOTE 2 has a little bit different interface on the home screen here, and I do actually like it better. You can do the grid view, which actually shows you a preview of the page that you're going to open and all that kind of stuff. So I'm a fan of how they're laying things out. And one of the first things that I noticed about this new device is that the Google Play Store just works by default. You kind of have to go through a bit of a setup on the AINOTE Air 2 to get it working. It's installed, but it's not authenticated right away. But you can still use it on the other one. But right out of the box here, this just works. So a great books competitor here, because that's one of the things that they have above everyone else, is the Google Play Store support. And overall, just a nice to have. They also have better gestures than the AINOTE 2, like the double tap for a screen refresh. That is really nice. And yeah, this thing is paper thin. I mean, look at how much thinner it is versus even the Stylus that comes with it. And yeah, there's a button, there's two buttons on top here, and then the port at the bottom, and you'll see a couple little cutouts. And you see a cutout there for a microphone, a couple other little cutouts on the screen side for microphone inputs as well. And the magnetic connection of the Stylus is really good actually, especially if you get it in the actual spot it's supposed to be. If you get it off even a little bit, it's significantly weaker. But if you hit it, if you get it right in the exact spot it's supposed to go, then it works perfectly. So looking at this device, I'm just really impressed with how thin it is, but I'm wondering if that comes with any trade-offs. And not really. For battery life, this thing has been phenomenal. I'm actually working on a battery test right now for my more long-term review, where I'm doing my best to basically note down every time I'm using this device and how much that drained the battery. And then you can see how resting time affects the battery life and how active time affects the battery life. So it should be a pretty comprehensive test. And I'm literally gonna keep doing it until the battery dies. I've been doing it for about a week now or more, and it's at what, 64%? So I haven't been using this thing like crazy by any means, because I've been testing other devices too, but that is still crazy impressive. It's definitely better than the reMarkable 2, probably better than the SuperNote Manta, and it's thinner than both of them. Honestly, as someone who's been testing their reMarkable Paper Pro Move lately, it is just so much better than that small device's battery. That battery is not good. By far, the worst part of that whole device. And I do want to give you some actual comparisons to the reMarkable 2 and other devices, show you some of my impressions on its differences and stuff like that. But first, I just want to talk about the screen itself. So this is a 300 ppi, so a nice high resolution e-ink screen, and a 10.7 inch screen that is a plastic display, the Mobius screen. You may remember this screen tech from the SuperNote Manta if you've watched some of my videos on that. So it's gonna be a 10.7 inch or 10.65 inch screen just like that one, which means it's bigger than both the Penstar eNote and the reMarkable 2's displays. And I've actually noticed that it seems a little more responsive to me than even the SuperNote Manta. So I don't know if they tweaked that or what that is. So let's just, for example, show this touchscreen keyboard and try and type out some words. And yeah, I messed up out a little bit here, but I don't know if you can tell, it just does not seem very delayed at all. And it seems to be keeping up with that really well. I was just really impressed with the with the touchscreen keyboard, to be honest. It's almost good enough where I didn't want to try to switch to the handwriting to text keyboard. And I had some issues with that. So let's see if I can replicate those issues here for you guys, or if it'll work great for me now. Yeah, so as you can see, now, did I write test perfectly? No, but I don't know why it's defaulting to like putting these spaces and gaps in between the letters if they seem a little spaced or something. I don't know. I feel like it should be smart enough to know that I'm trying to make a word there. It's very annoying to have to go back and correct what it's guessing for you. Now, thankfully, this does not translate to bad handwriting to text recognition elsewhere in the software. It's just the keyboard that I've found to be really frustrating with that, where it just does not seem to get it quickly. Let's try something else. Like naming this document actually something real, like board meeting notes. And see, that's what it gives you. And just for some context, here is iFLYTEK's other device. And if I remember correctly, it is not that bad. So let's just go to the search bar here and I'll write the exact same thing. Board meeting notes. Look at how perfectly it captured that. So I really think this is a bug in this early version of the device I got, and I really think it can be fixed with software. So this may not even be an issue by the time it reaches you. So I'm not gonna spend a whole lot more time on explaining this, but yeah, it's frustrating right now, and I hope it goes away because I feel like I should be able to write that and get the same thing on both devices. So I'm not even comparing it to other companies here. I'm comparing it to the same company's other tablet. That's why I think this is an issue that should be fixed, and it's probably just a fault of the early software version I'm on here. But if that gets fixed before this video is published, I will edit that in here and let you guys know. And just like with the other iFLYTEK tablet, the Touch ID could work basically instantly like that, or it can sometimes be a little finicky if you're just not having your finger right on the exact spot. But both those times it worked pretty great for me. So of course, oh, there it kind of goes. Okay, so it can just be a little finicky, but at least it has Touch ID, and none of the other e-ink tablets I have do that. And I hate putting a passcode on them just because I don't want to type in a passcode on an e-ink screen every single time. But when I'm using Touch ID for the most part to log into my device, that's worth it to me. And now I actually have more security in both these devices that I've never had on the other two. But yeah, so those were a lot of my first impressions. Love the Google Play Store. I mean, look at all the apps I just downloaded. Chrome, I have my YouTube Studio, so I can check my channel analytics here. I got Local Send, which is a great way to send files cross-platform. If you don't even want to use their cloud service or something like that, you can absolutely do that too. And I even have YouTube pulled up, and you can go in here and play a YouTube video. However, this device does not have its own speakers. Then you can change the display to best speed if you want to prioritize that. But it's not really even playing for me right now. So it's not gonna work great for this kind of content. And if you're thinking of doing that on an e-ink screen, I recommend not. But honestly, that's great. I don't really want to be too distracted by some YouTube on my e-ink tablet, because even if you try to watch it, it's not gonna really engage you as your other screen might. But being able to install apps is really helpful. Having the actual ChatGPT app in case this AI service is not what you'd rather use, I think it's pretty much just as good because it does use ChatGPT's model, but just having these is really nice to see. And it was just so easy to get these apps as well. And like the Bible app I've used many times, and now that the Google Play Store is actually supported here, I can log into it and save my progress. I have it synced to my account so I can have all my highlights and everything saved. So for the Bible app or similar reading apps and things like that, that's gonna be a huge help that you can actually sign into stuff. Because that was my big problem when sideloading to other e-ink tablets, is a lot of times they wouldn't let you sign in without having Google Play Store support. All right, let's put the AINOTE Air 2 away for a second. And let's focus in on this even more. And one of the big features of the iFLYTEK AINOTE 2 here is the ability to basically act as an AI voice recorder as well. And it does a really good job. And honestly, I think it does an even better job than some of those devices because you can view everything on screen right away and take handwritten notes alongside them. So you can just create a new note like you normally do. And there is just a microphone input option. So let's just tap that. And now it's connecting the English mode for me. And as you can see, it is pretty accurate of what I'm saying. And I think it does just as good a job as any voice recorder I've really tested so far, if not better than some of them. You can see it all in real time happening right in front of you, which a lot of them take some time to process the transcription and all that stuff as well. Now, obviously, this will work if you have an internet connection. It won't work great without one. And then as you can see, I have my whole notebook right here. So I can keep taking notes on the device while I am recording the conversation. And then blah, 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 blah. And you can kind of just take notes on the highlights. You can also tag certain moments and have them associated right down here in your notes, which is nice to have those timelines and options available. So I think overall, this has a lot of great functionality. If you're in meetings, board meetings, county board meetings, things like that, it is a great way to keep track of what people are saying, still take your notes, and be able to mark significant moments that you find yourself as well. And then another great tool is you can insert this into your note, or you can generate meeting minutes. So basically summary of your meeting that you just did, converted to text. So it's using the GPT-5 model, and it's going to generate us a pretty interesting summary here. And then again, you can also insert it into the note afterwards or share it. So here it goes. And it really does remind me of ChatGPT, how it categorizes things and labels stuff. But yeah, it is editable text. So you can change this and alter that if you want it as well. But I think it did a pretty good job. Now, as I did mention earlier, you don't have speakers to play the sound out on the device, but it does have Bluetooth. So feel free to connect Bluetooth headphones and play them that way. Otherwise, through your companion app on the phone or computer, you can listen to them back that way. But the written transcription and the summary notes is more important, I feel like, than just for playing the same audio. I don't think that's the main reason you're doing this. Open back up our notes page. I like having these really narrow lines so I can fit as much content on the screen as possible, but we can go up to these medium-sized lines and give a little more space, especially for testing purposes. And I just want to point out they gave you more tools here as well. I was even commenting in my full review of the AINOTE Air 2. I guess I'm not putting this away yet. But they didn't have that many tools. I mean, just look at that. It's got this more of a fine liner tool. I believe this is more of a mechanical pencil as well, and then an actual pencil, a true highlighter. That I think is a huge step up. I'm actually liking this tool the most. It just feels very natural to write with, or the fine liner just to get a nice consistent line. This makes for some really clean notes. So yeah, the best pen tool really over here is just like the ballpoint pen. And that feels fine. I will say the screen texturing is similar, but I think it glides a little smoother on the new one without feeling like it's less grippy. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's almost easier to write on while still feeling just as grippy on the nib. Yeah, I think it's an improvement, not a huge one, but an improvement nonetheless. And I think a big part of that is just because of that plastic screen underneath, it gives a little bit of flex when you press down on it, and that might even be the smoothness or whatever that I'm feeling. It's not so rigid. And some people might like that. I've heard others complain that that makes it feel like the screen's not as strong. I don't have that worry. I think it's gonna hold up better over time because the plastic will have less chance of shattering. And especially with it being this thin, I do not want the glass shattering. So those are the main things that I noticed for my first impressions of using this device. Overall, very, very positive. I'm a huge fan of the ultra thin AI powered AINOTE 2. And I hope that they keep improving the software even more so to fix those couple bugs that I showed you with the keyboard input and even adding better tools. But overall, a really nice to have product that is clearly inspired by the reMarkable 2. I mean, they even redesigned their pen to almost be a one-for-one duplicate of the reMarkable 2 Stylus. I mean, they are incredibly close here. It feels like them saying, don't wait for a reMarkable 3, get their tablet instead. And you know what? I think that might not be a bad idea. I do really enjoy the iFLYTEK. It's actually lighter than the reMarkable 2, and like I said, thinner fractionally, but it is thinner. And if you can notice here, it has much slimmer bezels. So it doesn't have this extra black bezel on the side here. The bezels all around the sides and top of the device are thinner as well. And it doesn't have as big of a chin. Now it does still have a chin. If you notice here, this part is actually not screen. It is like a touch sensitive bar, but it is not part of the screen itself. So it has a bit of an extra chin down here, but at least they gave it some functionality, and it definitely blends in better than the reMarkable 2, where at first glance, you think this has perfectly even bezels all around. But if you hold on this button and swipe to the right, you can activate a chat and use their ChatGPT-like chatbot here. If you swipe from the left on this icon here, it opens up Quick Notes, which I do find very handy when you don't want to create a whole new document right away, but you need to write something down fast. That's phenomenal. And as you kind of saw from the middle, swiping left or right is quick page flipping, and that's also quite nice. But I think the color of the screen is just as white as the reMarkable 2, if not maybe a little clearer. It's really hard to tell. They are nearly identical. So the gap between the ink and the stylus itself in the display are imperceptibly different. So if you like the reMarkable 2, you'll like this one as well. This is just a higher resolution screen, a bigger screen with thinner bezels, even thinner overall, a lighter device. Pretty significantly when you hold them at the same time, this one is a good amount lighter. And yeah, I just think they made the reMarkable 3, and that was kind of the goal, and they did that really, really well. The top button here that activates the AI Aide can do a lot for you. It does some voice to text right away, and it listens to what you say, and you can do a whole lot with this. What's some of the best features for the reMarkable 2? So you can get a quick AI response right from that button there. So it's more of a dictation prompt, where this one's more for typing or doing handwriting to text and stuff like that. So yeah, really interesting ways to utilize the built-in AI here. And I'd like to keep seeing them add more and more support for it. and gives a great summary here of this. The Smart Select. You can search words with AI. I thought it was with Ion though, so that's a little interesting. Let's maybe change that. So yeah, still that handwriting to text recognition is just a little off. Let's see if I can just write it really neat and maybe see if I can get it to work. There it goes. So now you can AI search that. So again, here's another example of the handwriting to text just kind of sucking. So then even this search kind of sucks. And I don't know why it does that. And it's like the built-in handwriting to text is not great. When it asks the cloud or the AI bot or whatnot, it does a great job. For example, let's just take these notes from a service here. So it's still not perfect, but this is significantly better than how the handwriting text keyboard works. I think it's because they're actually sending it to more of the ChatGPT AI that's powering this device, and versus the other one that's probably using some kind of local model that just has a weird bug in it or something like that. But yeah, I could make a whole video comparing this to the reMarkable 2, so I'm not gonna spend any more time on that. Another thing that the Stylus can do is it does have a button on it, which separates it from like the reMarkable Stylus, but it is very similar functionality to their previous Stylus, but they gave it a little bit more. So when you're close to the screen and you push the button, it does the selection tool. And from here, you can make it a task, you can clear it, cancel, you can move it around, or you can AI search, or if you go a little further away and push the button, it becomes an eraser. What would be really nice is if they let you actually customize the far setting as well and turn off the near one, but they don't. So the far setting will always be the erase handwriting tool, and the near can be either disabled, eraser, switch to smart pen, or erased selection. The only way to have the selection tool is to have the near setting turned on. There are also lots of gestures to this device. Some of them are turned off by default. I recommend opening this menu, reading through them, and deciding which ones you want on or which ones you want off. So yeah, that's my full review. I initially was making this video as more of a first impressions, but it's ended up taking me basically a month to be able to put it out, because the product hasn't been released to the public for a while, and now I'm finally able to release it and make even further modifications to it. So my full review of this tablet is the hardware is amazing, and it promises a lot while delivering well on I think 90% of those things. So it does have that ultra slim, thinnest tablet in the world, which actually is now officially certified by the Guinness Book of World Records. It has that going for it, and it does feel super light and thin. I love carrying this around and taking notes on it. It's fantastic for that. It does have the AI voice recorder functionality built in, where I don't even think you need a dedicated device for that if you have this tablet. And the App Store works great here because it actually has the Google Play Store with full certification already pre-installed. Fantastic Android support in that respect. Let me know what you guys think about the iFLYTEK AINOTE 2 in the comments down below. I think it's a fantastic tablet, especially everything about the hardware. I am totally fine with this. I personally don't need a front light. I personally don't need color, so it hits all the check marks for me, and the design is fantastic. And honestly, the AI features are a little bit beyond gimmicky. Like normally they're just kind of a gimmick, but I do think there are some genuinely useful features here, and having a button up top to basically pull down your AI aid and it will just do things for you, like create me an appointment at 9 a.m. tomorrow. And now I have that appointment for me right away. So there is a lot of things about that it's like a true AI assistant on your e-ink device, built on ChatGPT 5. If they get those couple quirks with the handwriting to text stuff figured out, I think this will be the easiest to recommend tablet for a lot of people out there, especially if they don't need color or a front line. So let me know again in the comments down below your favorite part of this tablet or your favorite feature from it. And as always, guys, please subscribe to the channel. It really does help us grow and be able to reach more people. And if you're curious about my setup at all, it's all gonna be linked in the description down below. And have a great rest of your day.